Bad news for the imperialist powers who seek the overthrow of Syria into the hands, or rather the pockets, of the wealthy ruling elite. A fourth whistleblower has come out from the OPCW denouncing the highly partisan and even outright manipulation of facts that was in the report that alleged that the Syrian government had carried out a sarin gas attack in 2018. That's right, a fourth person inside the organization has now come out denouncing the organization for twisting the facts in order to create that narrative. As you recall, 3 previous people came out and said that the organization was essentially lying, that this was not what they had found on the ground. Now, a fourth person has come up, and they have denounced the abhorrent treatment of the inspectors, the people whose data they're misrepresenting, and it denounces them for having been denouncing the OPCW for frightening them into silence. The mistreatment of 2 highly regarded and accomplished professionals can only be described as abhorrent. I fully support their endeavor, in that it is for the greater good and not for personal gain or in the name of any political agenda. They are in fact trying to protect the integrity of the organization, which has been hijacked and brought into shameful disrepute. As you recall, the first 2 whistleblowers that came out, they're both veteran OPCW experts and leaders who were deployed to Syria in 2018. These were the people on the ground who actually did the investigation and are calling the OPCW liars. Now, a third staffer a little while later came out against from the official version of the events put out by the organization, but he declined, or they declined, to make their views public because they said they were afraid that their family would be harmed. So that tells you something right there. Now, one of the 2 whistleblowing inspectors has come up publicly, used his face, used his name. He was Ian Henderson, a 12-year veteran of the organization and a weapons expert. In other words, he was the most educated and experienced. This isn't some new guy who just came in and made these accusations. This is a guy with a lot of experience and has a very solid reputation in this field, saying, basically, that the OPCW is lying. He led the on-the-ground inspection in Duma and conducted a series of detailed engineering study of gas cylinders found at the scene, the ones that had magically teleported through a building to land on a bed. I'm sure we're all familiar with that scene by now. But this is what's so infuriating. More and more people are coming up from the organization denouncing it as a lie, that the whole creation of this image that there was a chemical gas attack by the Syrian government in 2018 to justify U.S. bombings of the country, and I believe ended up murdering Russian soldiers as well, is based on a complete and total lie. Yet the mainstream media seems to not even know this is even going on. You would think that it's significant that a guy who was in the organization, who was the lead investigator who came out and said this, and yet not a word from CNN, Fox, MSNBC, or any other mainstream news organization like that, which shows you the collective interest that the bourgeoisie have through the use of their media. I mean, they have a collective interest, all of them across the board, of getting rid of Syria as an independent state and to turn it into another oil colony of the U.S. empire. And that just regardless of what party that you happen to be affiliated with, whether it be Democrat or Republican, they both have a shared interest because both of their medias are completely looking the other way on this. And that's one of the things to keep in mind. Not only is it to educate yourself about not so much what the mainstream media is saying, but what it's not saying. And to educate yourself on how there are significant joined interests among the capitalist elite to carry out crimes against humanity like this. And this is a crime against humanity because it was used as a justification for going in and murdering people in Syria. And that is the main point that should not be forgotten.
Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.